Stay in the zone. Parks overcomes Eala energetic crowd to win 3-set thriller. Melbourne, Australia. From the first set bagel to the pro Alexandra Eala had her back against the wall. All signs initially pointed to a straight sets victory for Eala, but Parks came back and pulled off a stunning 0-6, 6-3, 6-2 win in the Australian Open first round. Parks said she finally started hitting her spots, converted more first serves and became more aggressive in the final 2 sets, and that was the key to overcoming the rowdy audience. It was very difficult, Parks said to reporters. I was expecting it, but I also wasn't. She definitely has a good crowd. I just kept telling myself to stay in the zone. To set the scene, the cue to watch Alexandra Eala's match on Court 6 at Melbourne Park on Monday afternoon was unbelievable. Hundreds of people organizing in a line that extended all the way back, adjacent to Rod Laver Arena, waiting for a spot to watch the 20-year-old's main draw debut at the Australian Open. It was also Park's second time in main draw in Melbourne. It was so heartwarming, Eala said. That's one of the things that makes a loss like today a little bit harder is I know a lot of people were rooting for me. Then again, Alicia played really well. And I just hope that the support continues with the losses along with the wins. Philippine flags decorated the stands in all directions. Let's go Alex, chants transcended every few games and roars, even in what might be considered an inconsequential point, overpowered the Melbourne Park grounds initially. The fanbase the rising star, who stayed to sign autographs even in defeat, has developed over the last year on the WTA Tour driven by Mercedes-Benz was in full force. From the court's designated fan seating to the bar that overlooks the sideline and the ledge that faces the baseline, Eala had essentially brought in a maximum capacity crowd, and, frankly, there were no empty seats. Yet, Parks found a way to conquer that barrier, one that she said she was too focused on in the first set. I was starting to think I wasn't focused on the game plan, which is why I played better in the second and third set, Parks said. I was just so focused on the crowd in the first set, which is why it went the way it went. Eala delivered to begin the match. An opening game that lasted 20 points and ended with consecutive missed smash volleys by Parks foreshadowed how the afternoon would turn out. Eala got the early break. She was off and running, winning 8 of the next 9 points to take a 3-0 lead and ultimately closed the 34-minute first set with a bagel. Parks regrouped and settled into the match in the second set. Sprinting out to a 3-0 lead with the early break, the Americans seemed to find her groove. Though Eala leveled at 3-3, Parks remained calm and collected, taking the final 3 games. A pivotal break to go up 5-3 allowed Parks, who relied on 12 aces in the match, to serve for the set. I was starting to think I wasn't focused on the game plan, which is why I played better in the second and third set. It was now a new match. One set to decide who would advance to the second round to face Karolina Muchova or Jacqueline Christian, and pendulum had shifted into Parks' favor and the crowd had slowly started to simmer down. Parks struck first with the early break and hold to jump to a 2-0 advantage. That break proved crucial as Eala and Parks traded holds up until Parks led 4-2 in the set. The American had grasped control of the match fully, and once Eala's backhand down the line went out, Parks' second break of the set gave her a comfortable 3-game lead with a chance to serve for the match. Eala saved 2 match points, but Parks' serve proved too strong for an exhausted Eala, as the American successfully rallied to advance to the second round and did receive an ovation and applause. I don't know what my record is with crowds against me, Parks said laughing. It definitely puts a fire on me. I would say I'm good when the crowds are against me. Stay in the zone. The noise came first. It rolled down from the stands in waves, blue and white flags fluttering like restless birds, every chant shaped around one name, Eala. Each syllable struck the court like a drumbeat, loud enough to rattle the strings on Alicia Parks' racket. It wasn't hostility exactly, but it wasn't comfort either. It was the sound of belonging, and she didn't belong to it. Parks bounced the ball at the baseline and exhaled slowly. 1 bounce. 2, 3. The crowd surged again, a living thing with lungs and rhythm, hungry for momentum. She had learned long ago that you couldn't fight noise with anger or fear. You had to let it pass through you. Like wind. Like rain. Stay in the zone, she told herself. The first set had slipped away quicker than she wanted. Eala fed off the crowd's energy, moving lightly, swinging freely, every winner rewarded with a roar that shook the night air. Parks felt rushed, her timing just a fraction off. Not bad enough to panic, not good enough to dominate. The most dangerous place to be. During the changeover, Parks sat still, towel draped over her shoulders, eyes fixed on the court surface. She didn't look at the scoreboard. She didn't look at the stands. Instead, she listened inward, to her breathing, to the steady beat of her heart, to the quiet voice that had carried her through moments far tougher than this one. The zone wasn't magic. It wasn't invincibility. It was discipline. When the second set began, Parks changed nothing obvious, and everything underneath. She added height to her shots, patience to her patterns. Where she had rushed, she now waited. Where she had forced, she now trusted. The crowd noticed the shift before the scoreboard did. The cheers grew sharper, more urgent, as if trying to pull Eala forward by sound alone. But Parks was no longer listening. A long rally unfolded midway through the set, each shot demanding more legs, more lungs, more belief. Sweat stung Parks' eyes. Her thighs burned. Then Eala blinked first, sending a forehand wide. The point ended quietly for Parks, but something else ended too, doubt. She walked back to the baseline, calm, composed, unshaken. The crowd roared again, but now it sounded distant, muffled, like thunder behind thick glass. Parks had found the narrow tunnel where pressure couldn't follow. She took the second set not with a flourish, but with control. A serve down the tee. A clean backhand return. No celebration. Just a small nod, as if confirming something she already knew. The third set was war. Every game felt like a negotiation with exhaustion. Eala fought harder, feeding off every ounce of crowd energy, sprinting for balls that had no business coming back. The stadium became a furnace of sound, chants rising, falling, rising again. For a moment, even Parks felt it press against her focus. At 4-4, break point against her, she paused longer than usual before serving. The noise peaked, desperate and demanding. She closed her eyes. 1 point. 1 swing. 1 breath. She served wide, followed the ball to the net, and punched away the volley with authority. The crowd groaned as one. Parks didn't react. She reset, repeated the process, and held serve. The final game arrived quietly. Match point didn't feel like triumph yet, it felt like responsibility. The rally stretched, legs screaming, lungs on fire. Eala attacked first. Parks defended, then countered, then stepped in and let her forehand fly. Silence hit before the applause. The ball landed in. The match was over.